Hello, welcome back to Taking Healthy Back with Maria, me being Maria. And today's guest is MARCEL KUHN, who's the author of Unthinkable Life Teachings from a Soul Surfer. Welcome, MARCEL.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
This is an unusual interview because I'm in Italy and he's in Switzerland. So we're on the same time zone, which is awesome. And this is a wonderful opportunity because a good friend, a mutual friend of ours, Hunter Boone, introduced us. And MARCEL has a wonderful story, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And he was on a mission at one point in his life, much like I'm on a mission to taking healthy back. And as a result of his mission, he wrote this book. And it's from the first page, for me, it was very encouraging and inspiring. And there's so many wonderful testimonies at the beginning of the book talking about its inspiration and impact. And I believe that's what you were looking for with your book. And it was more for you to share what you learned to help other people. And I love the very first quote in the book in the preface about comparing words that are spelled with the same letters but mean different things, like scared and sacred. And what that said to me was we all have a unique perspective on life and what that means. And you also talk about you actually invite challenges into your life. And it's amazing to me that just the preface of your book has really already had so much impact on me. And how do you feel about all the reactions to your book? How's it doing? It just recently came out, right?
Yes, I feel really amazing about this book. I launched it on April 18, and I went to Portugal for that, just to be, because the book is about surfing and surfing as metaphor for life. So I wanted to be surfing in Portugal while I launched the book. So that was really exciting. And I have so much support for the book, or interest and curiosity from around the world, because I have a big network through my interviews. I know people from all the continents, from many countries. So yeah, it has been amazing for me.
Well, what's interesting is this book is not actually the book with all your interviews, correct? This kind of birthed out of that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started the writing journey of the book, of the original book I wanted to write, in January, February of 2016. We had a family tragedy that really steered me to think about why I'm here. You know, who would show up at my funeral? At the funeral, I asked myself this question.
Wow.
And then this 2 months later, I had this idea of writing a book, and the title of that came to me just like that was Achievers: 1,000 Ways to Success and Fulfillment. And I thought to myself, or I asked myself, why are some people so successful and fulfilled and other people not? And my assumption was that you have to be successful first to find fulfillment. So I reached out to world-class achievers, and I interviewed 60 of those. I stopped. My objective was to interview 1,000, but I stopped after 60 because I had like material for 5 books. And so this was my journey. But then I was struck by personal tragedy, and the person who helped me write the book actually passed. Ross G. Kelly. He passed. He had a brain tumor. And just 3 months before we wanted to publish that original book, he passed. And I like the whole story wasn't there anymore. So I had to start from scratch. I was really sad to lose a good dear friend of mine. And I took a break for a year, and then I started the new book that you're mentioning. So the first book was never published because it was probably not meant to be published. And the interviews that originally I wanted to have an interview book, just interview after interview. And I realized that actually I have a story worth telling. And so the book just mentions a few people that I interviewed, but the lessons from the interviews are just ingrained in the book, and it's mainly my story now.
Awesome. Yeah. And like I said, I just read the preface and I can't wait to read the whole thing. You talk about you chase success, and ultimately chasing success is not our purpose. And that being in Italy has taught me that. So I feel we have a lot in common in some of our life lessons. And you said that you interviewed people to find out how they found fulfillment through their success or not. And that once you achieve your idea of success, fulfillment will naturally follow. And I feel that's what's happened to me in my Taking Healthy Back. I needed to separate myself from my world, so to speak, you know, chasing down everything and quieting my heart to find what my true purpose is. And like you mentioned, that's when things start to flow. And it's not about hard work, but heart work. I really like that also. With that, I wanted to lead into my first question is, how do you feel that wellness contributes to your success or your idea of success?
Oh, that's a exciting question for me. So I'm not a health expert, but I feel that health has different aspects, and one of the aspects is our mental health. So we have mental health, physical health, and the spiritual health, and so the mindset and the living into your purpose is really what gives you a lot of meaning and will give you a lot of health. And the health is really important. The energy, your level of energy, has an impact because your body is the vessel for delivering what you want to achieve. So if you are not healthy, physically and mentally and spiritually, you cannot achieve the goals you want to achieve, and you cannot have the impact you want to achieve.
Exactly. How do you feel that you found your purpose? When, like, what light went off in your head was like, oh my gosh, this is my purpose?
I feel, looking back, so this family tragedy, this started me to think about this book. So I never had the idea of writing a book, but I feel my whole life I thought about success and fulfillment. So I was always comparing myself to other people. So I had the feeling of not being good enough my whole life, even though there is absolutely no evidence that I'm not good enough. So I grew up in a loving family environment, amazing parents, 2 amazing brothers, but I still feel that I always felt that I wasn't good enough. And in 2020, after my ghostwriter passed, and I got separated, I had this epiphany, and it's September 2020, and I had this epiphany that I'm good enough. So yeah, so this is just me feeling good enough, and I just wanted to help people to find their passion and get unstuck from the thinkable life. So I call it the thinkable life, the life that we live, that we feel we have to live from society or our peers, our family. That's the thinkable life. And I found my purpose in helping people to get unstuck of the thinkable life and live their unthinkable life, which is the thinkable life is what, it's living from the mind and living from logic. Yes. And it's usually limited to the predictable and safe. Yes. And living from the heart. So you mentioned heart work. So from the heart. So unthinkable is actually living from the heart, because it's beyond imaginable. It's beyond thinkable, what I talk about.
Maybe not even logical.
Yes, it's absolutely not logical, because whatever feels right for your heart never makes sense. So for you, it doesn't make sense at all to be in Rome or be in Italy.
Right.
It doesn't make logical sense. And for me, quitting my corporate job, my safe corporate job in the middle of divorce doesn't make any logical sense. Like people tell me, this is selfish, or this is stupid, or this is, I don't know, naive. But living from your heart never makes logical sense. But everyone has the power to choose that.
And I think also living from your heart, you can discern when you have peace of mind or when you don't have peace of mind. And for me, when I don't have peace, then I know that that thing, person, event is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you could only do that through the heart. That's the only way you can discern that, in my opinion. And I think we're in sync on that. Also in your book, you talked about, in the preface, that acts of courage are very important because then you will avoid regret. And to do these unthinkable things that have no logic really need courage. So that, everything that I've read so far is a confirmation to me that I'm actually on the right track for my life. So I thank you for that wisdom already. So my second question, Marcel, is what are your 3 to 5 non-negotiables that you need to sustain your wellness? That if you don't do it, you're slipping towards your wellness goals or sustained wellness. And it can be anything.
Great. So the first one you just mentioned, I do something that is unthinkable each day. So that's the first one. I do something that is outside of my corporate comfort zone every day. Like yesterday, I had the chance to do a free diving course. I'm really I feel really good in water, but diving is not. It's really outside of my comfort zone. So it was really scary, but I did it. So I do something like that each day, and it doesn't have to be something big. It can be going to the supermarket, to the groceries, and buy totally different things than you usually buy. So this is already outside of your comfort zone. So if you create different experiences, more expensive experiences, you have different feelings. You create a different day. So that's the first one. And for that, I ask myself disruptive questions. Like I ask myself each day this big question: how can I disrupt my day to day?
Wow.
Or if this is possible, what else is possible? So in that way, you can disrupt yourself and expand. Or how can you create the most expansive experience today? So these are kind of the questions that I ask myself, because your subconscious is like a supercomputer. So if you ask bigger questions, the subconscious mind will find you bigger answers.
I love that. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I mean, something as simple as drinking tea instead of coffee.
Yes.
Be disruptive. I love that. Okay.
So that's the first one. And the next one is I want to do something that moves my body in nature. Mm-hmm. So it can be a run, a swim, just walking in nature, or cycling, just any movement in nature. Okay. This is important for me. So just raising the heart rate, sweating a little bit, moving. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's really about stop thinking and going more into feeling and more into the body. And actually, Ross, my ghostwriter at that time, he said that if you want to create from the heart, you have to move, and that's what's happening. So I listen to my intuition when I'm moving. So it can be, by running or walking, you just listen and you stop your your monkey mind, and
Mm.
you get more insights, deeper insights. So that's what happened when I go surfing. I feel like when I sit in the ocean, I'm part of something much bigger, and I get so much insight. So that's also moving in nature. So
Wow.
that's, and then the third one is, I'm a divorced dad, so I like to spend time with my kids when they're with me. I like to spend time with them and be present with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth one is drinking pure water. And this is wishful thinking, because I drink too much coffee. So I want to drink more pure water, because I live in a country in Switzerland. We have the most amazing water just out of the tap. It's the most amazing water from the Alps. It's amazing, so good, so tasty. But it's easier for me to drink coffee and juices and all that. So my goal is to drink more pure water. Yeah. What else? Yeah, do something to catch my dream every day. So I want to work on my business, getting my message out. Yeah. So this is the last one.
And I'm sure there's other ones. I'm like you. I don't like to do the same thing every day. I like to break it
Mhm.
up because then life doesn't feel so monotonous.
Mhm.
And then my final question is, what is it that you are doing, and we can already tell, to contribute to a culture of wellness? What are you doing actively to help people to take healthy back?
So my mission, as I mentioned before, is to inspire and guide people out of the being caught inside and the thinkable life to the unthinkable life, and catch their dreams. So this is my big mission. I want to help people catch their dreams and become the best version of themselves. Because if we become the best version of ourselves, we are also the best for all the whole environment, for everyone else. So this is not directly related to health, but at the same time, it's so much related to health. Because when we live from the heart and do
Mhm.
something that is connected to our purpose, we will be much more healthy. So you can eat all the healthy food, all the organic food, gluten-free, vegan, but as long as you're in a toxic environment, and
Mm,
in a space where you don't feel fulfilled, all the healthy food and all the sports will not make you really healthy. So it's
right.
really being connected to your purpose is what brings you the ultimate health.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of people, when they hear, you want to help them catch their dreams, I think in today's society, from what I've noticed, that a lot of people feel that their dreams are unattainable and they don't dream anymore. They don't dream big enough. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think like people call dreamers the people that are naive,
Mm-hmm.
right? Naive. I'm a daydreamer, so I dream every day, and I just believe in the power of dreams. And
Mm-hmm.
Albert Einstein said it so well. He said, "Knowledge will get you from A to B, and imagination gets you anywhere." And that's what I believe. And I feel that um, in the corporate world, it's often the people that are really good in execution that are the leaders, and the
Mm-hmm.
dreamers are not always the leaders. So I think we should have more dreamers that lead, and people helping them to execute on their dreams. But I believe everyone has a dream, and
Of
I
course.
practice that dreaming with my 3 kids. So I want to empower them to dream, and
Mm,
I always tell them, whatever you have in your mind, you can make happen.
yes. We create our lives, truly. And I think a lot of people think that they will find it outside of themselves when everything we need is within us. And that's what you're doing. You're helping people have that self-discovery to live a fulfilled life and not end up at their end days with regret. So we need more of you, Marcel.
Oh, thank you so much for this conversation.
I know. I could talk to you all day, but this is it for this interview, and I will put all Marcel's information in the description so you can get a hold of his book and maybe even have an opportunity to work with him, because you are a coach now too, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And we could work with people all over the world. You don't have to be in the same country or the same place. So that's the beauty of all of this. And I'm happy to be a part in sharing your message and your impact with the world. And it was a joy speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All the best to you, and I support your mission as well. Thank you.
Thank you.